Well, actually, my family's from the Buffalo area. My parents had a neighborhood drugstore in Buffalo, and they sold it in the mid 60s and moved the family down here because they wanted this type of environment, a small town environment to raise their kids. And my father was a pharmacist, and he went to work for our trader. So I've lived here since I was 9 years old for, say, the last 45 years. I think Salamanca is a great place to raise kids. So after high school and college, I raised my family here. Um, One of the things I'd like to see is for my children to be able to raise their children here. I think it's sad that families have to break apart and kids have to move away to find employment. So a big thing with me is I want to see what I can do to get more employment here, economic development. The small town atmosphere. It's a beautiful area. Nature, the mountains. It's just a beautiful area. You have all four seasons. Yeah, we have a lot of snow, but that's just one of the things you got to put up with. No, I guess mainly what I like about the area is a small town, atmosphere. You don't have to worry about what your kids are doing so much as if you were in a bigger city. Well, we need to get more business here. One way of doing that is to improve the transportation. I mean, there's a lot, I've seen a lot in the paper lately about Continental One and Catherine Young working to get funding for 219. I mean, I think that 219 corridor is vital to get transportation down here. It's going to be hard to get any kind of real business down here unless you got good north-south transportation. I've thought maybe once that happens, or even before it happens, maybe we can start looking at like the medical corridor in Buffalo. Can we attract any of those jobs down here? We got relatively cheap utilities. Little Valley and Salamanca both have relatively cheap electric. I think that could be an incentive to get some type of business down here. But we really need to create some jobs that'll keep people in the area, like I said, so they don't move away and break families up. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've worked for the city for 32 years. I like to volunteer and help the organizations in the city. So I want to help Salamanca, and I think I can do it through the county. I've got some business experience through working with the city. I know what it's like to be a laborer, a worker, and moved my way up through to supervision. I just feel like I would be as good as anybody. I think I have the community's best interest at heart. I've never been a politician. I don't have any ties to anybody. I just want to do what's best for the community because this is my hometown. Jobs are probably the biggest problem. And that ties into like the 2% tax cap and the financial situation with the city and the county. We're all facing financial problems. There's the 2% tax cap. We're going to have to deal with that. I don't think overriding the tax cap is going to help. The tax cap is there to help the taxpayer realize that they're not going to be taxed to death, so they can plan on their budget. They know their taxes aren't going to go up, more than 2% or, close to that. But we're going to also face the problem of how we're going to finance the county when we don't have enough revenue coming in. I think a big part of that's going to be keeping after the state and the federal government for some kind of mandate relief. They can't put a cap on our earnings and then say, you know, you have to pay for all these other things that you can't afford. I know there's, right now the legislators have been working with the unions, trying to get concessions from the unions. The last thing I want to do is see anybody laid off. It devastates families, and laying off county employees are only going to add to the unemployment problem. It's not going to help anything. It's going to make the whole situation worse. So we need mandate relief. We need to find a better source of revenue so we can keep the employees working. They're the ones that are actually providing the services for the taxpayers, you know, for the community. So it's just going to be one of those, you know, dig in there and find out what the problems are and how do you fix them? How do you find the wasteful spending and where is it? And let's eliminate the waste. I'm advocating to vote no on the redistricting. We know we need to redistrict. We know we have to make the legislature smaller. But eliminating 4 positions is not really doing much. If you accept the redistricting as it's been laid out in the proposition, you're going to be stuck with that until, I believe, 2025. And the numbers I've seen bounced around are, it costs the taxpayers in the neighborhood of $25,000 a year for each legislator you have in office. So if you eliminate 4 legislators, you're saving $100,000. Now, I might be, you know, thinking a little too aggressively, but I really think that this area, the size of the county, we can get away with 11 legislators. Now, that would be half of what we got now. We'd eliminate 10. At $25,000 a piece, that's $250,000 a year you're going to save, you know. And that money could be spent on keeping the employees, you know, on the payroll that are actually doing the work, you know. People that are repairing the roads and taking care of the services we need. I don't see any reason why we can't really go down to 11. And that's why I'm telling everybody, vote no. Give us a chance to get in there and come up with a redistricting plan that really makes sense and really saves the county money instead of, you know, we can save a lot more money than $100,000 a year. I think it's unfortunate that we don't have a closer relationship with the Seneca Nation. I really think the city of Salamanca, the Seneca Nation, and the county have to come up with an environment of trust and cooperation. I mean, this community belongs to all of us. We all consider this our hometown. We all want to see it prosper. We want to make it better for everybody. You know, I've had some different ideas about what we can work on with all 3 governments. One thing is I'd like to see some type of immediate care center in Salamanca or close to Salamanca. Right now, if you got a medical problem, you're a good 30 minutes away from any kind of help. There's, you know, if the 3 governments got together and decided to look at where we could put a immediate care center or how we could fund it, you know, we could all pitch in, I think. I know the nation has the Lionel John building down there, which has, you know, it's a good medical building. They got a lot of the equipment that would be needed. You know, maybe we could all work together with them and staff some kind of 24-hour immediate care. I know Olean General's been working on improving what they have up at Southern Tier West. I think there's a lot of different options, but I think that's something that's really needed here in Salamanca, or like I said, close to Salamanca, so you're not traveling a half hour. I think there's a lot of projects we can work on together. We just, all have to put our heads together and say, all right, we're going to do this.